Anna never thought much about appearances. Asterisk, she wore plain clothes, simple shoes, and carried an old handbag that had served her for years. Asterisk, but today, as she stood outside the tall glass doors of a grand car dealership, she felt her heart beating faster. It wasn't for herself. No. Anna had no love for luxury. Asterisk, she was here because her husband Michael needed a comfortable car, something safe, something reliable. He had always given her so much, yet never asked for anything in return. And though she never spoke much of her life, Anna knew what her husband truly deserved. Asterisk, she brushed her hand gently over the small wrinkles near her eyes, gathered her courage, and stepped inside. Asterisk, the air smelled of polished leather and new engines. Bright lights reflected off glossy hoods. Asterisk, for a moment, Anna felt small, but her hope carried her forward. Asterisk, she only wanted to ask. She only wanted to look. Inside, Anna moved carefully, almost afraid to touch anything. The cars stood like sleeping beasts, their curves glowing under the showroom lights. Asterisk, a young salesman, neat in his tailored suit, noticed her. His eyes flicked from her worn handbag to her plain shoes. His smile was polite, but not warm. Asterisk, can I help you, ma'am? He asked, his voice edged with impatience. Asterisk, Anna swallowed softly. Yes, please. I just wanted to ask about the prices. Asterisk, the salesman tilted his head. Our vehicles begin at $200,000. He spoke as if the numbers were too heavy for her ears. Asterisk, Anna nodded gently, not offended, only curious. I see, thank you. They are very beautiful. Asterisk, but as she walked a little closer to admire a silver car, she heard whispers. A couple nearby chuckled softly, and the salesman's smirk returned. Asterisk, Anna's heart ached, but she kept her gentle smile. She was used to being underestimated. Asterisk, Anna leaned in, curious about the smooth leather seats inside. The car smelled new, even from where she stood, but the salesman's voice cut through. Ma'am, these vehicles are exclusive. Perhaps you'd be more comfortable looking at something simpler somewhere else. The words stung, though they were spoken with practiced courtesy. Anna looked at him, eyes soft but questioning. Asterisk, I only wanted to see, she whispered. Asterisk, the man shrugged lightly, already glancing toward wealthier customers who had just entered. Another staff member stepped closer, with a rehearsed smile that was not kind. Asterisk, maybe today is not the best time, he said politely, but firmly guiding her toward the glass doors. Asterisk, Anna's fingers tightened around her old handbag. She didn't argue, she didn't raise her voice, she simply lowered her eyes and stepped outside. Asterisk, the cool air hit her cheeks, and for a moment she felt the weight of invisible judgment pressing upon her heart. Asterisk, outside, the world was softer, but not kinder. The streetlights flickered awake as the sun dipped low, painting the sky in orange and purple. Asterisk, Anna walked with small steps, her handbag clutched gently against her side. Her heart was not angry, it was tired. Asterisk, she thought of Michael, her husband. He never cared for appearances, never judged her for her simple clothes, her plain ways. He loved her laughter, her kindness, the way she brewed tea when he came home. Tired, how different the world seemed inside those glass walls. A place where worth was measured, not in kindness, but in clothes and credit cards. Asterisk, Anna's lips curved into a faint smile, though her eyes were damp. Asterisk, she whispered to herself. It doesn't matter, he doesn't need their approval. We have enough. Asterisk, but deep inside, the echo of laughter and dismissive smiles lingered. The house smelled of tea and freshly baked bread. It was not large, but it was home filled with warmth that no luxury could buy. Asterisk, Anna sat at the small wooden table, her fingers curled around a teacup. The steam curled upward, soft and comforting. Asterisk, on the wall, a framed photograph caught her gaze. She and Michael, standing in their garden, smiling without pretense. He in his rolled-up sleeves, she in her simple dress. Asterisk, her heart softened at the memory. Michael never sought grandeur. To him, happiness was in quiet dinners, shared laughter, and long evening walks. Asterisk, but still, Anna wished she could have brought him something finer today, something to show the world he deserved more than their judgment. Asterisk, she closed her eyes, listening to the silence of the room. Outside, the city carried on, but here, in this small kitchen, love was enough. Asterisk, or at least, it always had been. The front door opened with a soft creak, and familiar footsteps filled the hallway. Anna. Michael's voice was warm, steady, carrying the comfort of home. She lifted her head, forcing a small smile as he entered the kitchen. His shirt sleeves were rolled up, his hair slightly tousled, but his eyes carried a calm strength that always eased her heart. He sat beside her, taking her hand gently. "You're quiet tonight," he said, his tone soft, searching. Anna hesitated. She wanted to tell him, yet didn't want to burden him. She never spoke of status or wealth, never cared for them. But the sting of today's dismissal clung stubbornly to her heart. "I went out," she whispered finally, "to the dealership." Michael's brows lifted slightly, but he said nothing, only listened. His thumb brushed softly across her fingers, patient and kind. Anna lowered her eyes, her voice trembling with the memory. "I only wanted to see, perhaps ask about a car for you. But they looked at me, Michael, as if I didn't belong. They asked me to leave." Her words broke softly, a tear slipping down her cheek. "I didn't mind the cars, not really, but the way they laughed, as though I was nothing." Michael's jaw tightened, though his voice remained steady. He reached for her hand, holding it firmly. "Anna," he said, "you are worth more than all those cars combined. Don't let their blindness make you doubt it." She smiled weakly, wiping her eyes. She believed him, always, yet something inside her longed for a quiet justice. Michael leaned back, his gaze steady, thoughtful. A flicker of resolve passed through his eyes, though he did not speak of it just yet. That night, long after Michael had drifted into sleep, Anna sat by the window. The stars hung silently above, scattered like silver dust across the dark sky. She held a small locket in her hands, a gift from Michael on their first anniversary. Inside, a tiny photograph of them together, smiling, simple, complete. Her heart was both heavy and grateful. Heavy from the cruelty of strangers, grateful for the love she had found. She whispered softly into the night air, "I don't need their world, I only need ours." Yet as the curtains swayed with a gentle breeze, a thought lingered quietly, not of revenge, but of dignity, of being seen, not dismissed. Anna closed her eyes, letting the night wrap around her. Tomorrow would come, as it always did, and with it, perhaps, something unexpected. Morning broke gently, with soft golden light spilling across their room. Anna stirred, blinking at the glow that framed Michael's silhouette by the window. He was already dressed, a suit replacing the casual shirts he usually wore at home. She tilted her head, curious. "You're leaving so early?" she asked softly. Michael turned, his eyes kind, but steady with purpose. "There's something I need to take care of," he said, offering her a faint smile. Anna rose slowly, pulling the blanket around her shoulders. She didn't question him further. Michael was a man of few words, and his silences always carried weight. He leaned down, pressing a tender kiss to her forehead. "Trust me, Anna," he whispered, and she did. She always had. By mid-morning, the city streets stirred, with their usual rush, yet heads turned sharply as a black Rolls Royce Phantom glided toward the dealership. Its surface shone like liquid glass, reflecting every line of the sky above. The engine purred, smooth and commanding. The moment the car stopped, silence rippled across the showroom floor. Staff hurried, doors opened swiftly, and out stepped Michael, measured, tall, and composed. His gaze swept the room, calm yet piercing. It was not arrogance, but presence, the kind that needed no announcement. The same salesman who had dismissed Anna stood frozen, his practiced smile trembling. He recognized power when it stood before him. Michael said little. His words were direct, his tone polite, but firm. "I came to speak about a purchase." Suddenly, every staff member leaned in, their politeness sharpened by fear and respect. Inside, the change was immediate. Men in suits hurried to fetch brochures, their hands trembling slightly, smiles stretched wider than before, dripping with sudden reverence. Michael's eyes, however, were steady. He did not rush, did not boast. He walked slowly past the polished cars, pausing at the silver model where Anna's hand had once hovered. The salesman stammered eagerly, words tumbling from his lips. "This one, sir. It's one of our finest hand-stitched leather. The latest design *" Michael raised a hand, and silence followed. His voice was calm. *" Yesterday, my wife came here. She wanted to ask. She was turned away. *" The salesman's throat tightened. A flicker of panic shadowed his polished expression. *" Michael's gaze was sharp but composed. "We'll take this one," he said simply, his tone final. *" And just like that, the balance shifted. *" The Rolls Royce moved gracefully through quieter streets now, far from the glimmer of showrooms and towers. *" Michael sat behind the wheel, his hands steady, his expression softened. A quiet satisfaction lingered in his eyes, not of revenge, but of justice served in silence. *" As the car turned onto their street, sunlight danced across its glossy surface, throwing playful glimmers against the modest houses it passed. Neighbors paused, startled, whispering at the sight of such grandeur rolling into their lane. *" Michael, however, thought only of Anna. He pictured her by the window, locket in her hands, still unaware of what was coming. His lips curved faintly, not for pride, but for love, for the woman who never asked for the world, and yet deserved more than it could give. Anna had just finished watering the small row of plants outside their home when the sound reached her deep, smooth, unfamiliar. She turned, and her breath caught. The black Rolls Royce slowed to a stop before their gate, its presence almost unreal against the simplicity of the street. Her eyes widened, hand rising to her chest as if to steady her heart. And then, the door opened, and Michael stepped out, composed as always, his eyes fixed on her. Michael, her voice trembled, barely more than a whisper. He walked toward her, offering his hand as though it was the most ordinary thing in the world. It's yours, Anna, he said softly. The car you touched yesterday, the one they told you not to look at it, belongs to you now. Her lips parted, tears glistening, not for the car, but for the love behind the gesture. The leather seats cradled her softly. The polished wood gleamed, and the air inside carried the faint scent of newness. Anna sat in silence, her fingers resting lightly on the armrest, as if she feared breaking the moment with a careless touch. Michael drove with steady hands, but his gaze often shifted to her, watching her quiet awe. Do you like it? He asked gently. Her eyes shimmered as she turned to him. It's beautiful, Michael, but not as beautiful as what you've given me every day. Your kindness, your love. That is what I treasure. Michael's smile deepened, his chest warming with quiet pride. Outside, the city rushed by, but inside, the world slowed. For Anna, this was not about wealth. It was about being seen, being valued, being loved without measure. Later, as the sun sank low, Michael drove them to a quiet hill that overlooked the city. The Rolls Royce rested nearby, but neither of them looked at it now. Instead, they sat on a wooden bench, side by side, watching the sky turn to shades of rose and amber. Anna leaned gently against his shoulder, her heart full. Michael, she whispered, I never needed it, but you knew what it meant. His hand closed around hers, warm and steady. I only wanted you to remember what I already know, that your worth is beyond measure. Tears slipped down her cheeks, not of sorrow, but of joy. The world could laugh, dismiss, and underestimate, but here in this moment Anna knew she was cherished, honored, loved beyond riches. The city lights flickered awake below, but in their hearts a softer glow burned brighter. The glow of a love that no judgment could ever dim.